education, make some noise! As if, when we have a turnout of at least round about to 3,000 to 4,000 here today, as if when we have messages of support from across Scotland, as if when we know the dangers of following the route of Westminster, the people in there will hear us! I'll be back on later, but I want to introduce one of our first speakers. He's the current Cabinet Secretary for Education and Lifelong Learning, Michael Russell.
Now I remember standing on this platform last year, and some of you were at that candlelit demonstration. And that was the night that Westminster was about to vote through tuition fees. And I made you a promise that night that there would not be tuition fees in Scotland. Not up front, not back door, not still, there would be no tuition fees in Scotland. I made that promise last year in the cold weather when everybody told me it wasn't possible. Well, I'm glad to be here today to say it's not only possible, it's what we've done. No tuition fees in Scotland. Now, I'll go further than that. I'll go further than that now. Because that was the first commitment, to get the figures, to argue the case, to make sure that those with fewer principles followed the case as they've done, and to make sure we got it set in stone. And it's set in stone for the next Parliament and beyond. But there's some other things to do too, so let me go on to the next stage. I recognise absolutely the link between student support and education. It's absolute. And if a society does not invest, we'll do that. And the next thing, the final thing we'll do, the thing that I'm proudest of all in my time as Cabinet Secretary, and I'm going on by the way, I'm going on as Cabinet Secretary if the people of Scotland will vote for us, because we need the SNP. Scotland's education defended. So here's the third commitment. We will continue to invest records amounts in college and university education, because by so doing we invest in the future of Scotland. That's what we'll do, that's the commitment, and we'll honour it in the coming 5 years. Now, a last thought, you've got a job to do too. During this election period that's just starting today, you've got to put education at the heart of the debate. And you've got to judge each and every party and politician, not on what they say, but on what they do. And on that basis, I'm glad to be standing here again, because the promise I made to you last November, I fulfilled. And I'll go on fulfilling the SNP's promises to the young people of Scotland. Thank you.
In this session of the Scottish Parliament, to make that message clear, that you don't just want empty promises in this election, you want free education out of this election. It's amazing, isn't it, to listen to the number of speeches we've heard from right across the political spectrum promising you what you want. How can you believe them? How can any of us? I don't know how I can even promise to you that I won't vote for a graduate tax or tuition fees. I don't know how I can promise to you that I won't do that, given that you've been sold such false promises in the past. So what I want you to do is make me a promise. I want you to promise to sack me if I ever vote for tuition fees or to many other public services in Scotland. We can, even within the current powers of Scotland, do something different, raising taxation on the wealthy to pay for vital public services, to pay for education free at the point of use, and also to close the vicious and morally wrong gap between rich and poor in our society. That is the test that you have to put to any candidate who speaks to you in this election from any party. Not just will they promise free education, but how will they pay for it? We can't afford to do that by taking from the health service or from other public services. We have to do it by raising progressive taxation on those who can afford to pay. And that is my party's commitment to you.
From Westminster. We've had the support of trade unions from UCU, ATL, EIS, Unison Unite, PCS. They all offered their support and stand shoulder to shoulder with you today. And so coming to this Saturday on the 26th, when over 1 million people, including 50,000 from Scotland, will descend on London to tell the coalition government exactly what they think of the cuts coming north of the border. We have Dave Moxham of the Scottish Trade Union Congress to encourage you to come and join us.
Thanks very much indeed, and I'll start with this. You've done it again, Scottish students. You've turned down the sort of numbers that you need to put the politicians behind the 8 ball, but more importantly, like Patrick's just said, to keep them there. Now, politicians are very important, but people are more important, and that is why on Saturday we aim, as part of this campaign, to show that 1 million people in London will congregate to say there is an alternative. That alternative is progressive taxation. That alternative is jobs for young people. That alternative is free education, not just for young people, for all. And you know, when we finished on Saturday, and like you today, we're putting away our placards and, dare I say, going for a small tipple, we'll know that we haven't even finished then. We will know that that's one more stage, one more step in bringing together people across Scotland, bringing together people across the United Kingdom to say there is a better way. So I look forward, I hope, to seeing many of you in London on Saturday. I'm here to say that if you wish to join us, the opportunity is still there. If you're not yet on a bus from Glasgow or Edinburgh or Dundee down to London, you can still join us. There are people in that bus shelter over there who are happy after this rally to take your bookings for buses down to London. If you want to go online, www.thereisabetterway.org, you can join us in London on Saturday, but be sure of this, whether or not we see you on Saturday, you will see us again joining you in protest to keep education free in Scotland. Thanks very much.
Friends, we're almost finished our demonstration.